you go get Anne Marie, she's at the door. Goodness. I knew it was coming.
Yeah, well, that's the point. It's a sneak attack.
I'm getting used to it. I'm immune to that.
Ask the Boss episode number
33.
That's a good number. That's a solid number. Is that the right number?
What?
All right, Mr. Douglas here.
That's Larry Bird, baby.
With meaty thighs. And you want me to take your job?
Well, I was looking up episode.
I was
looking up number 33, and I type in episode 33. It's not getting me anywhere.
Just be prepared because essentially they've added one person, but it's like they've started from scratch.
Yeah,
I've never done this.
We have no idea what
episode 33. Meaty thighs, Mr. Douglas, Birdie Bird behind the camera, and our special guest, Parvelia.
Oh man. Wait, no.
Did you fart?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be this one.
Paul Revelia, introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself.
I am the longest standing sponsored core athlete.
There you go.
That's all you need to know. And owner of Pro Physique. And I guess that's enough.
And AKA, his new nickname, Silver Fox. You can find him at Silver Fox. Silver Fox.
I think we figured out it was in 2013. 2013.
2013
was the year I decided.
All right, Paul, before we get into this episode, the first thing we always do is we pause for the sponsor.
Well, first off, before that, or do we sponsor first, or do we go into
Is Chipotle a sponsor?
This is, thank you, America Energy. Chipotle is not a sponsor, but Starbucks is.
I'm just saying it wrong on purpose because my friends like it.
Yeah.
This is the good one.
This is the good
one.
one.
I kind of like not having headphones because you don't have to hear the bullshit.
You don't hear all
If you guys like
Doug.
Mountain Dew, you will like Liberty.
Breathing. That's Doug.
What?
All right, number 33 was worn by some serious people.
Larry Bird, dude. That's it. End of discussion.
That's what, yeah.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem who?
Patrick Ewing. Shaquille. Scottie Pippen. 33?
Yeah, he did.
Lou
Last week was
Alcindor.
32, right?
Last week was 32.
All right, NFL. Who we got? Who you got?
Oh, wasn't Larry Bird was 32 then? It was Pippen that was 33. All right.
Yeah.
That's Pippen. That's good enough. I think we're good.
Who's the 33rd president?
So Bird's working the camera, so if anyone has any questions, if anybody wants to talk about Thotty's clapping cheeks,
Harry Truman.
Talk to Bird.
Oh, I like Harry. That's a good name.
Harry? Harry Truman?
Harry Truman.
He's the 33rd president?
33rd president.
All right. So what are we getting into first, Meat?
Well, our typical format is updates. So the biggest update of the day is Core Vegan.
And that is why Mr. Paul is here.
And that is why he's here. So
So
we should talk about
excited.
that.
Because his name is on the front of that thing. Look at that.
I had to sign my name and send it to you guys to scan it. That felt
You
like
have
a
no,
fancy
You
Well,
moment.
signed every
initials.
single tub. What are you talking about? Don't lie to them.
Well, that was initially just to make sure I was good at it, and then I had to show up. Yeah.
So we got Core Vegan dropping today, which this will be going live on Friday. So hopefully there's still some in stock. Well, actually, no. I mean, it'd be great if it was sold out, but there might be still some in stock by Friday. And we just did a video, which will be up before this, talking about all the details of this. All you need to know is the best tasting vegan protein on the market.
I'm excited about it. I've been using it daily.
Paul has been busting my balls for 2 years to bring out a vegan protein.
I never bust your balls. Listen, I think what you're starting to learn is like maybe Paul knows some shit because I suggest
Starting to learn.
Yeah, like I see because
Is that why you're rocking the gray beard? So
Look,
you think you're smart?
With me, you have this amazing audience of people that
Yes, this is
making me
basically
nervous.
Yeah, this is
dictate-
actually the first time we actually have a live studio audience.
Yes, but
I've never
through
felt this kind of
coaching,
pressure.
I'm on the landscape of what's going on in the world, and when everyone tells me they need vegan protein, I tell you, and you ignore me. And now we have the greatest launch in core history.
What do you say?
I know, isn't this really like bad? Like I'm like a midget. It's like, what's up? What's up, Dad? Hey, Dad.
I'm the first pick on the core basketball team.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, how'd you get into bodybuilding? Jeez, like that height.
I don't know. I was skinny, and I said I got to do something about this.
All right, Meat. What other updates do we have this week?
This week?
I do have to let's change gears real quick.
Do you got any?
Arms race. I'm going to give a quick arms race update.
Are you going to stay away from the current events today?
Yeah. So the last couple episodes, I've been ranting and I've been getting some thumb down on my
No
video.
NASCAR news.
No,
Did you hear about that?
It's the defund the police just pisses me off so much.
Well, now they're trying to defund NASCAR
because some idiot did something to some.
Oh, yeah,
don't even get my stuff. Here we go.
Bro, don't be calling people idiots. I saw in the Facebook post, You said you didn't have to call me an idiot or ignorant. That girl, she didn't like what you.
I didn't.
People get triggered easy.
Listen, I didn't mean ignorant.
It kind of backfired.
They need to meet my friend Anne Marie.
I didn't mean to mean ignorant in a negative way. She was literally ignorant. She did look up the definition of ignorant.
All right,
She did not know.
That's my job.
She did not know. Yeah, look it up. Let's get into this.
Ignorant.
Because
Lacking knowledge or awareness.
Yeah.
Uneducated or unsophisticated.
She was uneducated.
Technically, it's not a derogatory term.
In product formulation, she was uneducated.
You're so smart.
Thanks, Meat.
Every day I learn something.
Wasn't he valedictorian at Penn State?
I love you, Meat.
I don't know. I studied sports and recreation management.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I have a friend in the
How did you
state
get
pen.
this
That's
job,
the same
bro?
thing.
Because it's sport and recreation management, bro. What are you talking about? Supplements?
You manage
I was born for
masters
this.
in PE.
There was an actual there was a subject in a class on supplements.
We got to get Paul working these. Yeah, I can't even read.
I gotta know the. Yeah.
Yeah, they're right here. Come
Just
on.
start pressing.
All right. So let's get back to business real quick. So
Oh yeah, arms race.
the 1 year anniversary of Arms Race Nutrition is coming up on June 24th, which is, what day is this going to go live? It's the 22nd.
Thursday.
So Thursday, can we get this up on Thursday? 25th? 26th. So this is going to be, no, this is going to be too late. We got to get this up on Thursday, Bird. We're pushing the schedule ahead this week, all
I
right?
actually got a busy week, man.
So Arms Race Nutrition was 1 year old. We launched in our other warehouse a year ago. Julian and Kenton were here.
It was a mess.
It was insane. It was
Kind of
freaking,
broke the internet.
we did break the internet. They literally, Shopify literally called us and said, like,
Do you know that you have this many orders? Yes, that's why we're calling you.
yeah, because like, yeah. So anyways,
Good job.
it was an
Shopify's
awesome,
big.
it was an awesome launch, and it's the 1 year anniversary. So we don't really do sales with Arms Race. We're doing 25% off from the 24th to the 26th on all Arms Race product. And there is a code somewhere. I don't know what the code is. It's probably like
Julian 100.
Just sign up for the email
like
list.
B-Day. Yeah, sign up for the email list and take advantage of it because it's only going to be 2 days. That's a big deal for us to do a sale like that.
Yep.
So what else we got going on, Meat? The Supremos launch for America Labs.
July 1st.
Yep.
So next Wednesday.
In the 2 new flavors, Alpine Pew Pew, which is a Mountain Dew flavor, and Wild Blue Yonder, which is like a berry fruit punch. It's
Yeah,
great.
like a mixed berry punch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then on Monday we launch, which we're already getting questions about, jogger shorts. Like I need we're out of stock a lot of jogger shorts, so people are asking about them, and I'm like, we're relaunching these next week, right?
Yeah, so we're doing the camos. So you got the long camo.
Camos and restock. We have restock of black and light gray.
Yep.
And then we're launching the new lifestyle T-shirts with those on Monday.
We need to get some sex shots
Yeah,
of Paul.
Paul, you ready for some sex?
Hell yeah.
Meat.
Yeah.
Paul's like,
Sex it up.
sex, please.
Yeah, we'll put you outside. You know, you'll
the
strip down and
Silver Fox, you'll get
Yeah.
bring in the. Never mind. I want to.
I need
But yeah, so
I
we-
need some
we
sodium. I need to get a pump.
that is that's like technically our deal for next week, right?
Yeah, but we're getting a lot of back in stocks. Actually, the second product in the PR series, which is Burn X, which is the fat burner.
Oh, that was a
worked-
question. So let's go.
Yeah, so you worked with us in helping design Burn X, which we launched last fall in the old style.
Yep.
As we go to the new product and we're doing the PR series, it'll just be called Burn. It's Burn Powder.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's just Burn.
That's easy.
We got rid of the X. Same formula, but we are dropping the new flavor, which is like a, what do we call it? What do we actually end up calling it? Oh my gosh.
Mango heat.
No, not even close, bro.
What are you talking about?
Hold
Mango.
on, hold on.
Is it salsa?
It's
What?
spicy. Or is that shred?
We're gonna get in here.
Don't make fun of me.
No, it's a pina colada.
Oh, it is
bro.
a pina colada.
It's nothing to do with mango.
Pina colada.
I was thinking of shred.
Oh, Paul, I'll show you your labels here. Hold on. Oh, here we go.
Oh, wow.
Look at these. Look how sexy those are.
Mango
So that's the orange. That's the orange mango.
Doug's embarrassed that.
Can I get my
So like I'm glad National says. Oh,
Can I get my car wrapped in this?
here you go. Check that
Bro,
out.
I'm trying to sell vegan. I'm
Hold
not
on.
trying to sell products that are not out
Orange
yet. Like,
mango.
Pineapple colada.
There it is.
There it is. So
Orange
that's the new
If
flavor.
you like pina colada.
I do have to give you credit on the new flavoring systems because
You said that ABC
a lot of the
label?
new products just taste really good.
Cesar finished that ABC label. See that? Pina colada?
No, I didn't get a
Oh,
chance.
that's
to do
why I
that
got that song.
So the reason we reformulated the fat burner or the thermogenic
Yet. Yep.
was because I thought it would be beneficial to add in something that was anti-cortisol in there. So
And
I'm excited about that.
the other piece, the saffron piece, which was the big saffron, you can actually make the claim of appetite suppressant.
Yeah.
So those were the two. I mean, there were some other tweaks we had, but adding the KSM into the fat burner.
Yeah.
And having the a stronger appetite suppressant, which is the reason why a lot of people take it. So that will be the second product. When is that coming out, Pat? That's like early July.
That needs to hurry because I got like 7 more weeks on this little cut. I could use that in my morning.
Early July. We should actually have those within a week or two. The other big news, we finally got ABC Sweet Tea and Lemon Drop back in stock, which has been out for a month, and people get pissed.
The sweet tea is ridiculous.
I remember we were drinking it on the way, the beta samples when we were going down to Australia. Yeah.
And I was like, I just wanted it to have it to drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really good.
So a lot of good stuff in the works. Meat.
Yo.
I'm going to hold off on the political rants today.
Yeah, no political rants today. Let's just keep it just peace, love, and, harmony or whatever. There is some questions.
Peace, love, or harmony or whatever.
There's some questions for Paul. Right. So there are there's all these kind of go with Paul. So are there other vegan flavors on the way? Have we sampled any already? I actually got a package from a manufacturer today. I got super excited about it because I thought it was going to be samples. But it's tubs to put the labels on so we can shoot. So we're working on the peanut butter, the vanilla, which your wife really wanted.
Yes.
And
Snickerdoodle.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you should know that, me. Glad Paul knows.
I didn't know Snickerdoodle.
Well, I've heard it a lot today.
Yeah.
Paul.
That's the first question everyone asks.
What's been your favorite thing to see happen with the core rebrand? Well, probably the PR series.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, that's too obvious though. For me, it's the rebrand, everything that's changed in your flavor systems. Like, I always took your products because of the results and because they were efficaciously dosed. Now, like, they're literally delicious. Like the new Fury.
Even the pre-workouts, which are sometimes hard
that's
to
the first thing that I noticed when I took the Fury. I was like, usually you just get ready for a little bitterness. Yep. It's so good now. So I'd say you've just continued to kind of evolve things. You haven't just sat on your laurels, and that's been the best thing.
Word.
So
that was a big word there.
Laurels. I don't think.
Do you know what that means to me?
Silver fox.
I have a cabin in Laurel Springs, North Carolina. That's about all I know.
Oh man!
What was that, applause?
Yeah. Usually you hit the meat button.
Yeah, I like Paul's style. He shouts out my stupidity.
I thought that was like a humble brag. So.
It was a humble brag. So somebody asked, what's the next PR series product? So Burn is the next.
Yeah, with the new flavor of pineapple colada.
But that's technically was already existing.
Do we sneak the next one, or we don't not talk about it yet?
We can. So Paul and I were talking about and maybe this is not the product we were talking about, but I thought last time we talked was about a more female-specific version of Core Hard.
Now, why would you associate me with females?
Because all you do is have bikini chicks posting their booties all over your thing.
Listen,
like,
I'm not
the
Brett
Silver
Contreras.
Fox.
I'm a coach.
Silver Fox.
But yeah, absolutely.
Man.
I think, that
good thing your wife works with you and she's a part of this whole thing. Otherwise, it would be a problem.
My wife knows them all anyway. But yeah, that was the point. That I think they're, if you look at the demographic in the competition scene, females dominate, and that's where the vegan stuff came from. I had a lot of women asking me what was the best vegan protein on the market, and I couldn't tell them yours. Yeah. So,
and just to be clear here, Core Hard is probably purchased by more women than men at this point. It's awesome for both, but there's a couple that are what I would consider female-specific ingredients that I would maybe tweak to
just dim, right?
No, there's some other things.
Okay.
I would actually even consider doing some pregnenolone in there.
Okay.
For females. So, but there's also some
but
other.
Core Hard,
beyond that.
like you were out of stock pretty recently.
Yeah, so we did a restock last week and it was crazy. People were pissed.
Because
your clients were pissed.
Some of my competitors actually kind of rely on that, so I actually keep some at my house and I'll ship that to them. I whenever I get a stock from you.
We've been sending people to the nutrition corners because they usually stock up for like at least a week or two of inventory at the store. So if that ever happens again, we have them email us and we'll send them to where either the nutrition corners or one of our other retail partners that have it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And
we ready? Moving on? Somebody had this cool idea. Little Debbie oatmeal raisin cream pie flavored core would be bomb.
What?
So this inspired me to ask a question. Okay. What's your favorite Little Debbie snack?
Star Crunch.
Star Crunch, interesting.
Oh, I gotta go the Nutty Bar.
I gotta go
Nutty
cream
Buddies.
pie.
Isn't it? Is
Nutty Buddy Little Debbie though?
Of course you did cream pie.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Or a pecan pinwheel, a spin wheel.
This is where fat meat comes out.
Me and Little Debbie's.
The nipples start getting hard.
My nipples don't get
A
hard.
lot
bro.
of
They stay
a
fun.
lot of your product names are pretty suggestive. I'll have to admit.
What, the hard load stack is suggestive?
the
What are you
hard
talking
load,
about?
Yep.
So is there a new product coming or what?
Meat sticks.
PR series? You gotta, you
Yeah,
guys were
it's-
talking about it.
We
but
were talking about it.
Is there anything in the
Bird's
works?
yelling at me to get in here. I don't want to get too much closer to him.
Keep the biceps in.
Keep the biceps in? All right, okay. We're working on it. I mean, and like I said to Paul,
Ridiculous.
Bring us ideas. We're
Yep.
open for it.
Core Nutritional's Bikini Bite.
Ooh.
Let's expand. Let's get
A
out there.
PR series.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you want to get into the competition suit world, we could take
No.
that over.
No.
Nobody wants to manage that
See,
here.
what you said no about this too.
We could hire somebody else.
Trust
to
me, I
manage
will
that.
guarantee I'm not making women's bikinis. That's
the Core Micro Pro Cut.
it's like
That's a great name.
it's just like this.
You got some questions, Bird?
You going here? Just
Okay.
repeat 'em.
Can they hear you?
Yeah.
They can hear me.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah, Doug, you look small as in shorts. Is the vegan protein soy-based or something different?
Absolutely. Is the vegan protein soy based? Absolutely not. Soy is poo poo. I'm going to put it in meat terms. Poo poo equals soy. Soy equals poo poo. Got that, meat?
Yep.
So just going into the protein, we're using a pea and a brown rice protein in here. So what other questions, Bird?
I would like to know, could I take grains as a breakfast meal if I'm trying to diet down?
Could you take greens as a breakfast meal if you're trying to diet down? You could, but I would not recommend it. You're only getting like 3 grams of protein in there, so that is not.
It wouldn't be a meal if you wanted to
No.
have it before you did some cardio or something. It's got a few carbs.
I mean,
right?
at a bare minimum, I would throw in some BCAAs or EAAs in there because you're literally getting 3 grams of protein. So
Have you tried the greens, the berry greens with the mixed berry?
I have not tried that mix yet. I'm sure it's good.
That would be my next suggestion.
Yep.
Last one. Favorite flavor of new vegan from each of you?
Favorite flavor of new vegan from each of us.
I think we already went over it. Mine's chocolate. I don't know if
Mine is we did it on, I think, the other video. So it's a different video. They're all running together now because
right.
we've shot so much.
Chocolat.
My favorite, I think, is the maple pancake batter.
And I can't comment on that because I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
So I have to make that.
And your
next.
chocolate, and a lot of people are saying mixed berry, from what I heard.
That's my wife's favorite.
Meat?
She keeps.
You have an
asking.
opinion too here, meat.
I do, but I feel like my opinion's not ready. You know.
Oh, you just had.
I mean, from the beta testing, so much beta testing goes on, but I haven't really.
Yeah.
tried them
I
all
understand. I appreciate that response because I tentatively say the maple pancake because I had it in cinnamon brown sugar cream of rice the other day, and oh my lord!
Well, you know what my favorite was last year when I was here testing was the red velvet, which you're not even doing right now.
Red velvet in the ISO.
No. You had a red velvet in the
Vegan?
vegan.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Bird.
It was
I think you're
delicious.
making stuff up. Well, you know what? Hey, look, we can make that happen.
And then your boy Josh.
Josh Gordon,
Brigade.
Meat Brigade.
Ferris is national sales director, doesn't know the flavor. I have his back though. Meat Brigade.
Meat Brigade squad. Yeah.
Yeah.
My head's spinning. I'm just whatever.
I think he says that every week, doesn't he?
Yeah, because I'm
Meat It Out was last week. Meat It Out, your brain was like.
meat it out. Yeah, that's my new.
Was that like the
shit.
blackout? He's a meat out.
I'm meat it
Meat
out.
Yeah.
But that was in. Let's get into some training questions. How about that?
Let me guess. How do you build arms like dogs?
Actually, I think there was a couple.
There was
of
something about Doug's biceps, but they're small.
Get a DeLorean.
What do you think about adequate rest intervals for bodybuilding type training? Rest intervals.
Like rest intervals between sets, you think?
Yeah, I
That's
guess
what
so.
that means?
What's your point? Yeah.
The only thing that matters in regards to training is the quality of each set. So you have to rest as long as you need for the next set to be effective. So it just depends on your experience, like how many sets you've done in that session. Rest a little bit longer as the workout goes on. But yeah.
I think there was just a study I saw released.
Yeah, all the research is very clear. What matters is the quality of each set and the total volume per session.
Yeah.
So like if you're just but not everyone has the time to go, well, I need to rest 2 or 3 minutes to be at full force for this next set.
Yep.
Some people got their 45 minutes to train and be done.
Yep.
But if you're talking about being a completely optimal, it's rest as long as you need to make that next set the best it can be.
So this is kind of in the same category, but what are your thoughts on TUT, time under tension? Like the time of sets.
I like to see Doug's response to this because he has some of the fastest.
But I don't
training.
always train that way. I really don't. I mean, when I train
Majority
with you,
of the
I usually
time.
do. I would say 80% of the time I do train fast like that.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes where I do change the time under
So this
tension.
is something interesting. I've actually proposed this, the mechanism of muscle growth research to Dr. Campbell because of velocity training. So because when I see you train and I see people like Lane train that have like very dense muscle fiber, you train very fast. Like your reps are very quick. So is that impacting the quality of your sets?
So the other part of that is still the total time under. I train very high rep.
Yep.
So it is still the total time under tension. So like I usually do like 20 reps might be the time that you do 10 reps.
If you do
So,
it like a
there's
very
another variable in there.
controlled eccentric. So here's what I say about like time under tension. It's a tool. You can use it when you're injured because you can basically lower the weight and avoid injuries if you have soft tissue, joint, tendon issues. But I wouldn't base all my training around time under tension. I
It'd
think
be boring.
it'd be boring. Yeah.
Do you have you ever done blood flow restriction training?
Lots of it because Jeremy Leneke, who kind of
Yeah.
popularized it like 7-8 years ago, was doing the camps with me in Lane.
Now, were you doing it because you were injured at the time, or
No,
you were doing it just because?
Most of us were doing it because it was kind of cool and trendy.
Yeah.
But all the research is based around people
and your veins
that,
come out. You get really good bumps.
when you're lean,
Yeah.
that stuff's great. Now you do get an intense burn from it because it's preventing the venous return of blood. So there's a lactate build up in the muscle. So it's like painful, which for us sadists, that's like a fun thing of training.
Yeah.
But the research is actually just shows that it's really good if you have an injury or you can't train, it can actually attenuate muscle loss. That's really the value in it. And that's why I think it's kind of lost its popularity. Lane still does some of it, but I think that's just because he's powerlifting. And so he can go get like one set of blood flow restriction on like a bicep curl and be done for the day. So
Got it. I've never done it. I mean, I've done it like a very small amount of sets. Like I've never done like.
Let's just say you had a hip or a knee injury that prevented you from squatting and leg pressing. You could blood flow restrict at the top of your leg and just do like a leg extension leg curl and prevent muscle loss. And it's the research is pretty clear.
Word.
Bird is the word.
Bird is the word.
We're doing good on time.
Oh
today.
no.
What's that?
Because
no.
Here we go again.
What did I do?
No, just we have to stop at 30 minutes and then restart.
Oh,
you
because the
crushed.
camera shuts
Hey,
off?
bro, you crushed that.
You need a refill?
Slow down.
What's the matter with you?
I'm enjoying.
Jeez. Not enough.
Apparently.
Okay. Ready?
This could be the shortest podcast we ever do because I just cut out the whole ranting part.
I'll be honest, when I watch it,
we got
I
a lot
go
of
to the
questions to get
timestamp
through.
past that.
Yeah, of course.
So what is the best way to transition from a cut back into a lean bulking phase? Started halved my cardio up cal 100.
Probably
Up your calories 100.
That's probably not enough on the calories. So essentially an easy way to do it is start at your refeed numbers and cut your cardio in half. That's a real super basic.
Don't you have pretty large refeeds though for a lot of clients? Like, wouldn't that be too much if you?
I'm a little bit more. They're not as aggressive as they used to be because most of my clients are doing consecutive day refeeds now. So let's say someone's on 150 carb.
Yeah.
They're not doing a 350 gram refeed. They might be doing 250, but 2 days in a row. I just find it works better for hormones, for digestion, for predictability. And the way I peak people going into a show is I'm generally walking their calories up. So almost by the time we get to a show, we can kind of predict where their maintenance is going to be based on that.
Do you ever do rapid backloads anymore?
No.
Why?
No. It's completely unpredictable. It requires a lot of testing. I didn't like the fact that the way you did it was you didn't get to sleep for the last 24 hours because people think like 24-hour backload. To get in 1,000 calories in 24 hours, you have to
1,000
eat
carbs.
1,000 carbs. You have to eat like almost every 2 hours. That means you're not getting a good sleep cycle the night before a show.
So I I got a good solid 6 straight.
Did you?
The night before the show? I mean, when you add that many carbs,
Yeah.
your sleep is like amazing. So like I was out, and
well, I'll be honest,
but I did wake up early that like Friday. Like I was up at like 3 a.m. or something like that to do a decarb workout.
That doesn't bother me because most people get up early on show day for their tan, their hair.
Yeah, but and then show day I slept till like
the difficulty for me as a coach is seeing your athlete 24 to 48 hours before the show look the worst they've looked all prep. When you deplete someone that close to stage, it is a real, and you know, I've had just wonderful success with linear progressive loading with my bodybuilders, with bikini, with all divisions. So
I worked with Brandon Wattis, and he says the same things. He almost has gotten away from the rapid backload for the mental state of his competitor.
Yeah.
The competitor seeing themselves at that hard depleted state by Wednesday just gets in their head, and it ends up being a more cortisol issue than it does.
And I've gotten pretty aggressive. Like some of my men will have 500 to 600 carbs on Friday, and they had 450 on Thursday and like 350 on Wednesday. So it's not like they're not getting a bunch of carbs, but it's a little bit more predictable because you see how digestion is going. And
I wonder how, I haven't talked to Cliff Wilson about this a lot, but he was like one of the ones who really brought like the rapid backload. I wonder if he's still doing it.
Well, the thing he gets associated with it, and I've had a lot of talks with Cliff about it because, like, I want to be the best coach I can be. I take my ego out of it. I talk to other people about their approach, and I've talked to him about it. And he doesn't use it with everybody. You know, he has a very specific population that he does it with, and he preps people hard. Like, you know, he gets them so depleted that they actually it works. But he'll even tell you it's not 100% of the time. But that's what gets the attention because it's so kind of
it was crazy when I did it. Like, I could literally see myself grow from like first thing in the morning to at night. Like when I was, usually you look at your own pictures and you think you look like shit. But like when I like put them side by side, like morning to like the night, I was like, holy crap, who is that?
But that's because you completely depleted yourself for 3 days. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you have such big full muscle bellies to be completely depleted before the stage. That didn't bother you?
But there's no chance of no.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we all bodybuilders are mentally disturbed.
My favorite moment. so I was at your show in Cape Cod.
Yeah.
I flew there specifically for that to see you compete. I remember you go, hey, Paul, go walk around, see how everyone's looking. And I was like, what? You're insecure?
Yeah. But like, you just don't.
I know, but we're all looking at you like, oh my God. Like, why did anyone else even show up?
But that's why he's so good, right? Because he doesn't think of himself.
No, I know, but it was just good to hear.
I still walk around like I'm 120 pounds. Like, I'll be walking around the kitchen and like I'll bump into my wife. My wife's like, what is your problem? She's like, you don't know how like wide you are. Like,
you just check her?
Like
shoulder check her?
But I don't mean to. I just like don't. I'm still like a skinny kid in a wider body. Yeah, get out of the way. Cook me some eggs.
I remember. So you might remember this. The day of the show, you were touching. You were going like, even my jaw muscles are filled out. Like you were pushing.
Like, all right, we got to take a break here in a second, but. Last question from Paul's. What you sent me is, how can I buy your products in the UK? Dale Wilson 379.
That was a question for Paul.
Well,
it was on my ask.
Oh, okay, yeah. A-List Nutrition is our exclusive distributor. They also sell to a bunch of other UK retailers, but I would say go to A-List Nutrition.
They're not going to have the vegan for a while though, right? Because
actually, it shipped today.
Oh, you did.
It's packed and ready.
It's packed.
They're probably getting picking up.
They're picking it
okay.
up. Huh? Did you just drop a picking?
Picking what?
Pick it up?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just...
Packing and picking.
I feel bad because I shouldn't do it, but it's just... I love Pat. I just got to give him a hard time. Come on, yeah.
You didn't have a younger brother. I get it.
He's like my little brother.
Can we take a break now?
All right, Pat's going to go cry.
I'm learning.
Which one's that? Rim shot?
Yeah, rim shot. Bottom.
Did you know that was... Did you know that was...
English.
Supposed to be rim job.
Oh shit!
Did you know that?
Did you know
that noise was called a rim shot? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, what else would it be?
But I also got a degree in Parks and Recreation.
Probably wasn't even Parks and Recreation.
I've been watching Parks and Rec.
Bird, what did you switch the battery?
I got 5 hours of sleep last night.
What's that battery?
Are we good? We switched? We back? What's up?
Because you missed all that gold.
We back.
There was some.
Well, the podcast gets it.
There's some meat gold in there. Wait, so what happens?
Meat gold.
Meat gold.
So the podcast keeps going, but he has to edit
what do you
the video.
like black it out during where the voice is still going?
So YouTube.
So,
YouTube and
Oh,
podcast
I
are
got you.
different.
so he'll just edit it together.
Got
on
it,
the
got it,
video.
got it, yeah.
Match up the sound.
You got thotties clapping cheeks over there?
Back.
Some
Body's clapping
And
cheeks.
so we had this one guy, this one episode, and he kept on asking questions about thotties clapping cheeks. I don't. Is he on there?
I had to look that up. Someone said thought, and I was like, "What is that?"
That hoe over there.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
like, really?
I think
That's-
it's great. Shit.
I don't want to be the old guy, but that doesn't seem like.
have receding hairlines.
Bro, I do not have a receding hairline.
No, his hairline's down to his eyebrows.
Yeah,
What are you
I got like a
talking
three. I got a three head over here. I got a 3, not a 4.
Can your hairline precede? I feel like it's going forward.
So I
I
don't.
got nice
Your hair
calories.
hasn't changed.
I don't have hair loss in my family. I've always had like this. It's just like the Miller's thing. It's just
So it
like goes
hasn't
back.
gone, hasn't receded.
Yeah, it's just
It's been that.
It's just recessed.
I'm 44, so
Yeah.
deal with it.
Yeah. Don't f- with a
just
silver
like-
fox.
it's
Okay?
just
Losing
life.
it up top, but that beard gain, the beard gains are real.
Yeah.
Someone shouted me out. Said like, when will Bird be next to Doug and Meaty? Like, I'm a star.
Bro, yeah.
Like when I'm-
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah.
Bird has a second account apparently.
Yeah, he's messaging.
Joe said, how about inflammation due to a large amount of veggies while depleting? I gained almost 7 pounds before the show. After, and my carbs were very low, but I increased my veggies. Was it fiber?
Is this Joe Furiani?
Yeah, so this is
Yeah.
actually very common, and this is something that I very much pay attention to that I didn't used to. Like, what carb sources are you using? Because, you know, if you have somebody carbing up and they were on 100 carbs and you haven't used 200 and they were just eating veggies because calories are so low, you can actually really cause some inflammation, because what happens is the vegetables digest so slowly that they'll actually ferment in your intestines. That will cause gas and bloating, and it will take a couple days for that to pass. This is when a greasy burger helps.
So yeah, so was Joe like? I guess the question is, does this usually happen when people add in way more vegetables than they're used to because they're cutting their carbs?
I see this in the depletion phase.
So like they're switching from like oats, like a whole grain carb, to like a
Some of the
fibrous
peaking
carb?
protocols I've seen, they say, okay, you're going to go down to 50 to 60 carbs a day, all from vegetables.
Okay.
So you just start loading up on these cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower and broccoli, which it's great for food volume.
Right.
And you feel full, but you look pregnant for like 2 days. And it's very, when you're that lean, everything is scary. You're like, whoa, because you just don't know what's going to end.
Yeah.
So
I remember at the Yorton last year, he was saying how bloated he was or something like that.
yeah, I mean, I'll literally have some people carb up on like kids cereal, like Honey Nut Cheerios. Just depends on what they digest well. But
Do you guys prefer slow and control reps like Julian does versus more sloppy form reps? This is Josh Gordon. Is there a time and a place for both?
You answered your question, Joe. So the question was, do you like really slow and controlled, or he said sloppy reps or something like that? So I don't think I would say sloppy, right? I would just say a faster tempo, right? Because if you're just straight
like
up sloppy,
Arnold, the Arnold encyclopedia.
why are you looking at me?
What's going on?
I got meat thoughts in my brain. I like them sloppy, extra sloppy.
So Arnold talked about
Billy Madison,
cheat reps
anybody?
Yeah.
in the modern bodybuilding encyclopedia, but he would cheat in a manner which kind of stimulated the muscle, not just for the purpose of looking good.
If you look at all like the great bodybuilders, they've used some controlled cheating, right? Like I don't think you should like I said before, that there's a time and a place for all of these things. They're different techniques. I actually think being too controlled and too precise with every exercise will hold back your gains.
There's actually research on this. So like people that curl with no momentum, you're not going to be able to use much weight. You get a little bit of a momentum, you can overload the muscle a little bit better. Then you do a little bit too much and everybody on Instagram attacks you.
Right.
So it just comes down to not paying attention to what the critics are saying. Do your thing. Like watch Branch Warren train. Like people like to criticize him, but if you actually break down his technique, it's very good. Yeah. It just looks like he's using momentum, but he's overloading the muscle and he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, I get it. I get it all the time, right? Like when you're curling hundreds and like if you don't use momentum, you wouldn't be able to do it, right?
Yeah, and when I try to curl 100s, nothing happens. So it's not like oh, you can only curl 20, but now you're doing hundreds because you're swinging it. No, like you're actually overloading the muscle at a very specific point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question.
Discount code today, Bobby Bands. Try that.
Paul R20.
Yeah, throw it out there, juice, use it.
Paul R20.
Man, there's gonna be some big commission check this month. All the views on this podcast. He's talking to the phone, but like
He don't know what he's doing.
Yeah,
It's gonna come out weird when.
Bird, do you have a coupon code? No, definitely not.
Try to probably add some money.
Yeah. You get a bird tax. Yeah.
We'll get you a code for Zone. How about that?
Oh, the influence, all your creative friends.
For the creative mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them your Patreon account.
Your what?
Patreon. That's where people like give you money for putting out information and stuff. You ever heard of Patreon?
No.
Yeah.
It's creative shit. Yeah. You know,
It's too much. for
we
my
want to
brain.
know about
Some
that.
some YouTube people actually only use Patreon. They don't monetize their videos because that way they don't have to put ads in it, and then people will just like pay them.
I wonder how much juju they get from that.
I don't know.
Must be a real thing.
All right, ready for some
Yep.
coaching questions?
Yeah, let's go.
Paul, what got you into coaching? What has been your greatest achievement as a coach?
Wow, that's a good question. So what got me into coaching was actually I was competing and people were kind of coming up to me and saying, "Hey, would you help me?" And I said, "No, no, no." My first coach, who was Lane Norton, kept saying, "I think you would be a good coach." And I said, "No, no, no." And finally, a client came to Lane, had already paid another coach and said, "This guy stole my money. I asked him questions. He fired me." And Lane was like, "Listen, I can't help this person. Would you help him?" And I thought, well, there's nothing I can lose from this. He was local to me, nice kid, helped him, prepped him, and went to his show, and he won like the novice class in bodybuilding. He was like 18, and his mom came up to me and was like, "Thank you for everything you've kind of given us kind of our confidence back in the sport of bodybuilding, that there's good people out there." And he gave me an envelope and it had $300 in it, and I gave it to my wife, and she's like, "We should start a business." And I was like, I really liked the feeling of like, wow, you can actually like help people, and they were grateful, and that was it. I was hooked from then on. My greatest accomplishment, probably getting a athlete Olympia qualified. Yeah, so we have our first, and she just so happens to be with Core Nutritionals, but that's something that I probably don't think I ever thought I would do, is get a girl on the Olympia stage or a competitor on the Olympia stage.
You're going to probably have a couple at some point.
This year, yeah.
So
And actually, maybe the Arnold stage is even harder to get on the Olympia stage because there was only 16 of them.
let me throw, I'm not asking for a sales pitch here, but what separates like Team Pro Physique from other coaching teams, right? Like, because there was, before Pro Physique, there was a lot of teams out there, right?
There still are.
And they had a very bad rap, actually.
Yeah.
Like, it was probably one of the reasons why coaches like you and Lane flourished, is because a lot of those bikini competitors on those teams realized they were doing some messed up stuff. And that's where you guys...
To me, it's less the messed up stuff and more the everyone's doing the exact same thing. There's no kind of attention to detail from person to person. So I actually was kind of afraid of that, because when I first started coaching, when I would hear girls from like this team or that team were at the show, I already knew that they were going to lose, or I knew that what was going on was politics or whatever it was. So when I first got into coaching, I was kind of against that. What changed my mind was understanding that how important the community is. So when you
were
go
against
to shows,
what? You were against
a team,
the team, right?
the team, because in my mind that was, but what it actually was those girls or that member of that community were just excited to do something together and be a part of something.
Sure.
And so they suffered together. They did their cardio together. They ate their tilapia and asparagus together.
Yep.
Then they started hearing like, well, there's people doing shows and they're not cutting out water and taking water pills, and they're eating flexible dieting. And it took a while for people to have success. And so the reason Pro Physique has flourished is when I started getting hundreds of client inquiries, I didn't take on thousands of clients. And that's what those teams were doing.
Yep.
They were just blueprinting plans. Instead, what I've done is add coaches. We now have 15 coaches, 4 of which are coaching girls at the national level, myself included. So it's not like if someone reaches out to us, they're going to get the same plan as everyone else. They're going to get a very individualized kind of approach to the sport. And I absolutely want to know all my clients and get to know them, and so that I understand them. So that's really the difference in the team approach. Is like, I want my girls to be on the same team, but also be treated like individuals.
Well, I mean, it's about building what is so important. And really, whatever business you do these days is culture. It's like you are building a culture at Pro Physique, just like we're building a culture at Core Nutritionals. And that's why the brand, Pro Physique brand, is a strong brand now. It's because
Do you remember what
team.
Joe said to us in Australia when he was, he did his little seminar, and he said this, I'm going to say the first sentence.
Yeah.
Content is king, but community is kingdom.
That's right. That's right. I do remember that. That was a great
stuck
quote.
with me, and I was like, wow, he's right. So
yeah, that's a great quote.
yeah. So.
Let me get back. Let me ask a couple other coaching questions, because I used to coach back in the day. I gave it up.
Team Miller,
many-
man.
Yeah.
You made us nervous when we knew there was a Team Miller person
many
there.
years ago. So I'm very curious about the business. I love asking people business questions. So if you don't mind, I'd like to jump into a couple questions about that. So you have 15 coaches now. So one is, what does it take to be a coach, and how can you ensure that your coaches are basically, you want them to be an extension of you, right?
Holding
like
up the brand standard.
The brand standard.
Yeah.
Like, how do you make sure that they are, when somebody asks them a question, they're going to answer it most likely very similarly to the way you would answer it. So how do you manage that?
All of my initial coaches were very close to me personally. They were either my classmates at USF or my clients. And they had just expressed an interest to me over and over again about being involved in coaching. So I basically kind of formed those first couple coaches under that idea. And we were in very close contact. So if they had a question about, what to do in this situation or that situation, we would talk about it. And as it's expanded, what I found is the coaches that I first helped are now helping the newer coaches. And so I'm not in a rush to add coaches. I don't force it. We wait until people kind of reveal themselves in a good situation. So whether that's through the University of South Florida's exercise science program, we have many people with master's degrees. We now have multiple people that are registered dietitians. We now have a doctor who has come on board, right, as the director of medical director oversight. So like the way that I'm making sure my coaches know more is by making myself available more to them. And then this year we had our first ever Pro Physique experience, and I brought in 3 experts in the field: Dr. Joe Klemzeski, founder of online coaching; Brett Contreras, one of the great, exercise scientists in the world right now; and Ryan Doris, who is in my mind one of the great writers of programming right now. I had them come in for one day with just my coaches, and we had seminar after seminar after seminar. They could talk and learn, because I don't want myself to be their only kind of, base of knowledge. I want them to get a full spectrum of how people are doing things, because even I realize I've been coaching for so long, sometimes I don't realize that there's better tools out there, better ways of doing things. So it's through constant evolvement. And it's also, I had to get out of my own way. I can't run Pro Physique. I do not run Pro Physique. I actually do less now than I've ever done. I just coach. My wife is very involved. We have someone that handles customer service. We have people that are doing our digital stuff. So there's people doing a lot of work.
So when somebody sends you an inquiry and they're a competitor or a non-competitor or bikini or bodybuilding, whatever, how do you determine what coach that they go with? And if somebody goes with, let's say, Tyler versus like Colin, will that person get, obviously it'll be a different experience, but will they get the same general principles in diet, training, like all
Good
of that?
Question. So here's how it happens. We get an inquiry through prophysique.com. We have one woman, her name's Sandy. She's amazing. She reviews that and she says, "Oh, this would be good for Paul. This would be good for, whichever coach, Steven, Kate, Tyler, any of them." And then she sends that to them. They set up a 30-minute phone call. We do not sign a client that we have not spoken to. So that 30-minute discovery phone call, you talk about philosophy, you talk about goals, you talk about how to set your vision. That's really what separates us, is that we are getting involved from day one with our people for free. There's no charge for that phone call, and there's no pressure to sign up with us. We're in a very fortunate situation. Our coaches are doing very well, so we're not in a rush to add people. And so I believe we make decisions based on what's right. I've even steered clients in other directions. If they tell me this is their goals and they don't line up with our philosophies, I say, hey, this would be a better company for you. But that's how it's been done for the last couple of years, and it's gone really well.
Cool. Yeah. What else you got, Meat?
Questions about coaching.
Do we have any questions in the live audience here?
Oh yeah, we have some Pro Physique.
I got a supplement question for Paul.
Yeah.
What's Paul's Substack off season and in prep?
My off season is going to be a little bit underwhelming. I just stick to the basics. I try to limit the pre-workout, so I might back off a little bit on the Fury and focus a little bit more on pump. I'm taking my branch chains. I try to remember to take my creatine. Definitely now I'm taking Flex. I'm definitely taking the fish oils. What else am I adding?
Multi?
Yeah, the multi. Man, my pill stack is probably bigger than my powder stack these days.
We need to do some new pill containers. I've had a lot of people post their.
It'd be really cool if you could buy the pill container already filled with pills and just for the whole month.
Like already filled out.
Yeah, that's a whole business right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really try to downplay the stimulants in the off season. There's no off season meat. It's only improvement season.
Come on.
Yeah, so that means you can drink keep caffeine.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to add this because my appetite goes so far down in the improvement season. Sometimes I'll go out without eating, and having a protein powder is going to be amazing.
Word.
So.
All right, let's get into some ingredients then. What does the green tea and coffee extract benefit in SPECTRA, which is in multi and in greens?
So this goes back to a question that was related to the girl I called ignorant.
That poor girl.
And I didn't mean it in a negative way. I just meant like she was uninformed.
If you're listening, I forgot your name, but Doug's a very nice. He comes from a good place. Got a full heart. You just got to know that. But sometimes he gets a little passionate and it gets a lot of
here's
control.
how we can frame that. You are ignorant to her name. Are you going to get offended?
Yeah.
No, I'm ignorant all day long. That's my name.
Yeah. All right. So you can't just. The point of those, there's a lot of ingredients in the SPECTRA blend. So
what is SPECTRA first?
It's a greens, reds, really an antioxidant blend that is trademarked. So I couldn't even tell you, even though we're full disclosure and tell you exactly how much of each ingredient we put in these things, I couldn't tell you like how many milligrams of each of those things in, because it's a trademark blend by the company Futureceuticals, and they have done research on that specific blend.
And they keep it proprietary.
So it's like you take 100 milligrams of these 30 ingredients and you put it in. Like that is your disclosure of that. And so looking at the specific ingredient, like a green tea or a green coffee in there, I wouldn't tell you it is in there for X. The reason why we put SPECTRA in there is it's a really strong antioxidant. So it helps fight the 5 different types of free radicals in your body, and it's a really strong antioxidant, and that's why it's in there. So I wouldn't look at it as like, oh, green tea can, be like a fat burning agent, and green coffee can help with blood sugar, like.
It's kind of tough. It's like the one time, because we're transparent label, and it's a fully transparent label. SPECTRA just that Futureceuticals keeps it proprietary.
Yeah, we couldn't put it on there if we knew, right? Like,
so don't think of like the green tea extract, the green coffee extract are doing specifics. Think of SPECTRA doing this.
Yes, this is a formula put together by the ingredient supplier that has specific research on those.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, because that's the only product you have with a proprietary blend, as far as I know.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a big deal when you guys started doing that. I think more people are open now.
This is the story we tell all the time. So like 15 years ago when we started, we were like literally like the first company to really focus on the non-prop blend. Now that's like the bare minimum. If you don't have a non-prop blend, you can't even be in the game, essentially. Like there's very few companies, maybe Bakuzi's companies, like, because he's proud of being like the rogue who does proprietary blend. Yeah. But beyond him, like if you don't have a full disclosure label, like the consumers are smart these days, right? Yeah. So now you need full disclosure labels, good looking labels in marketing. You need to have a culture and a community that you support, right? And you have to have great flavors.
Well, here's the other caveat to that, because sometimes people will say, hey, coach, you're asking me to take Core Hard. Great. But I found this product. Can I take it instead? And I said, listen, labels are great, but who's behind the label? Because they can say whatever the hell they want. No one's testing it unless they, and that's why I like your products, because I know you stand behind what's on the bottle. And they work. Very
much related to that. Pat was actually over last night, and we were having dinner with our neighbors, and we actually got talking to protein, and I brought out Core Vegan, Core Pro, and Core ISO, and I was trying to explain it to, these are non-bros, you know what I'm saying? And I was trying to explain the difference and whatnot, and we were talking about the Paul Revelia on the vegan, and I explained like kind of who you were and why your name's on there, and the question, it was a good question. It was like, well, so these other 2 proteins, does he promote those? Like, how can he promote those if he can't drink them? And my point was, Paul is promoting the brand because he stands for like what we do and knows the quality and believes in the quality and believes in the product. So
you mean like the way ISO,
the ISO. So like, how could Paul recommend ISO? Well, if an ISO is a product for you, I would trust Core Nutritionals over somebody else because I know who's making it and how they're making it, even though I don't drink it.
Believe me, so I love your way. I love it, but yeah, my body doesn't.
So anyways, I thought it was an interesting question from somebody who was completely outside of. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of interesting questions, we always get some randoms. So, do you straight shave or trim your body hair?
I just trim.
Doug?
Just buzz.
I shave it all,
You shave?
man. Everything. I'm like a giant toddler, bro.
Do you just get in the shower with shave cream and just start stripping it off?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you nair?
If you stick around long enough, we'll start telling you the directions of which certain things get. Holy crap.
Bro,
Did they hear that?
And the thunder rolls.
Keep
And
the.
thunder roll.
That was, you were going to a dark, dirty place,
That-
me.
yeah,
that was
that was
God did,
God's-
not want that. God did not want us to talk about how you shape your ball
balls.
sack.
How come every YouTube ad right now is for that ball hair trimmer?
Manscaped?
It's like, man.
See, that's dangerous. I don't want to put anything electric down there. I just go, never mind. We won't get into it. We got an audience in this.
Sharp razors scare me down there, though.
Yeah,
Okay.
you gotta-
I told you, I'll walk you through it. Okay.
All right.
We'll walk you through it and take care.
skills.
What kind of student were you in school? Loud, obnoxious, or quiet, introverted?
Me?
I don't know. This is a
Quiet.
generic question.
I was definitely quiet, introverted. Not until after I got out of college did I open up.
I was loud, obnoxious, class clown. Can you tell?
I couldn't tell. So I was in like,
I was a good kid, though.
I was in a lot of the honors classes. So it was like me, and like, this is not racist in any way. So
Here we
don't
go.
send me a text. It was me and a bunch of my Asian friends, right? Like, we were in the AP maths and all that. And like, our high school was very Asian.
So you're saying Asians are good at math?
They
right?
are, they are really good at math, right?
Society says that's racist.
So I was always kind of like the outsider in that class. So I was very outspoken in the honors classes, just because, just by nature, generally, a lot of my Asian friends were very reserved. I mean, you know, it's part of their
That's
culture.
kind of cultural, right?
It is
Like,
very,
yeah.
very cultural. So like, believe it or not, like, even though I was like a good student and in my classes, I was kind of like the clown, which was really weird.
So you would kind of assume the role of whatever's missing. If they would have been the louder ones, you'd have kind of pulled back a little bit, you think?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I filled that hole for them.
Okay.
Why you gotta go there, bro? Come on.
Bro, the Asians are coming for you.
That was too easy. Yeah.
Somebody asked, what is your greatest accomplishment outside of the fitness industry?
Me?
They said all three. You're the star
My
of the show
greatest
today. So you
accomplishment.
start.
I mean,
This is an
it's-
easy question.
Got to be my kids. I mean,
Yeah.
they're freaking awesome.
Yeah. I don't have kids yet, so I'll say my wife.
I was just saying that. Good.
Hey!
I was just saying to somebody earlier today that it's just like, you don't really know what, like, even with your wife, it's a different type of unconditional love. But
I never understood that. When I was like, when people would be like, oh, I love my kids so much more, you know, my wife's one thing. I'm like, I don't get it. But your kid is you. It's part of you. Like your wife you chose and she chose you. But that kid is part of your body. It's it's a different feeling.
yeah. So
Sounds
you have
weird.
Yeah, it is weird. But it just
I got a dog.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it's part of my body.
no. No, it's when you see you, you're like, oh, you're literally responsible for everything that kid is ever going to experience.
it's crazy. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to Doug for ARN. Will there be a point where ARN is available at other retailers? I would like to support local. This is Josh Gordon. He asked like 20 questions a show.
Josh is prolific.
GNC could be local. It's feeding your local economy.
Yeah, and the GNC franchises are locally owned and operated.
Right.
The nutrition corners carry the product, so they're locally owned and operated.
Yeah, so
And the answer to that is, I don't know what is in store. This is a big conversation amongst the owners of that brand, myself, Julian, and Kenton, of what is next for that company.
Well, when does the
Like next month.
the exclusive come up?
Next month.
So there's negotiations probably happening. Right?
We have calls with some very important people, both
week?
at GNC and
It's-
it will happen before this show goes. But yes, we have very important calls this week.
are you going to finish that or are you sipping on it still?
Oh, bro.
I usually
You getting thirsty? Yeah.
Save mine for the screenshot or whatever you call it.
Oh, yeah.
No,
We
I
got to
better-
have a good
I
time.
better
Done,
not.
right? I got one more question. All right. This is a good one. This is a good way to
I got the good screenshot.
Screenshot?
You ready? And me will get down there. It'll just be Paul.
Like,
No. We got one more question. One more
like
question.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
All right. Paul, what do you do when someone takes your machine at the gym? Do you confront them or do you move on?
Are you okay?
Listen, I'm getting on in the years. I used to just move on. Now I will say, like, listen, I understand it's a busy gym, but if you want to take something, just ask. I will happy to work in with you, but don't be rude. I used to just be real passive and just go like, oh,
I thought you were going to go the other way. Like now that I'm like, you know, an old silver fox, you know, I just don't care anymore. Like I just let them go. I just roll with the punch.
Now I think of it as like they need to learn their lesson because
son,
people come into a gym and just act a fool. And I used to just watch it and like move on.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, listen, like treat the gym as if your mom was going to be the next person using the equipment or she was watching you work out. That's how you act. And so when someone's, if I'm standing there and they like slide in, they try to sneak a set in, I'm going to be like, that wasn't cool.
Like take your Corona elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, and this is something I said to Pat yesterday after flying, you know, with a mask on and going through the airports.
How was that?
Did you feel dirty?
No, I actually felt like people were more respectful. They're actually like the way we should be. Less people were like in a hurry, bumping into you. Like even when we got off the airplanes, they said, please take your time getting off so you're not like crowding people. And they were. Everyone stayed seating. And then as that row left and this row, I'm like, this is how it should always be. Instead of like you stand up on an airplane and someone's like breathing on your neck. I'm like, dude, we're not going anywhere for like 10 minutes.
That's the word.
It just felt like people were being a little bit more polite and a little bit more patient. Despite
so were you every other seat on the airplane?
No.
Oh, so they fully pack them now?
No, I think the middle seats were empty on Southwest. So they said you can sit in the middle seat if you're sitting with someone. Otherwise, leave the middle seat open. Yeah, that's the rain.
And you have to
And
wear
the thunder
a mask
rolls.
by the time you enter the airport.
Yeah, they did say at Tampa Airport, they said while you're on airport property, you must wear a mask, but not everyone was. So I'm like, well,
they have, so in Virginia, that is, you have to wear a mask if you're indoors, but if you have a medical condition, you don't have to wear it, and no one's allowed to ask what your medical condition is because of like
HIPAA.
law. Yeah.
So
I had a
yeah,
black
that's
card
that.
over the weekend.
And then what if you're in the airport and they're selling food, you can't eat with a mask on. So people, I'm like, so I don't get it. Like, but I just thought, okay, I'm going to keep my mask on if I'm near anybody. And
So I don't know if you probably didn't hear it, but my rant last week was get this. This is just a summary of the stupidity in this world today. So private swim club, we're a bond holder. So we're actually part owners of this swim club. It's a community club, but it's private. We pay an annual fee. And right now they're still like in different phases. So you have to sign up in half-an-hour increments for a lane. You can only have 3 people in the lane. They have to be family members, but you can't be within 10 feet of each other. So my wife goes with our 3- and 6-year-old who can't really swim. You know, my 6-year-old can swim a little bit, but my 3-year-old certainly can't, right? And the lifeguard, they told her when she walked in, and she's kind of just like, F that. So then the lifeguard yelled at her twice because she was holding Griffin. I was like, if I was there, I would have lost my shit.
So
and
they
so
would prefer him to
So finally
drown?
I was like, do you really want to be pulling my dead son out of the water? I mean, like, it's ridiculous. Like, there's no common sense there. And
you share a household. Why wouldn't you be able to be close?
So here's the thing. You have
60 seconds.
You have to be a family member, but they said that the health department was like, well, how do you guarantee that they're family members? So they still go, well, shit, it's a private club. And like, you have ID, like when you go into the club, it's the lack of common sense that people are using these days that pisses me off so much. Anyways, how are you guys?
I understand it.
30 seconds.
All right.
What are we finishing with? Oh, hold on. Should I stand up taller?
Is it good? Well, I don't know. Mate, what are you doing? Bro, he can't see you down there. What are you doing? I don't know. Get your head up here. I'm doing meat things. Put your head up, like right here. We good? Oh, hold a vegan tongue. That's good. Okay. Nailed it. All right, that's the screenshot. Is that a wrap, or do we have any more questions? Should we cut it in an hour?
20 seconds. How much would Woodchuck?
I think that's it. Paul, do you have any final thoughts?
No, just thank you for finally listening.
How'd we do, Paul?
I'm excited.
All right, guys. Till next time.
Me.
Keep crushing it.
Keep crushing it.